Police officer comforts little girl after she asks, "Are you going to shoot us?" A white police officer comforted a 5-year-old black girl named Simone Barty during a Tuesday protest in Houston, Texas. The clip of the officer reassuring her is gaining viewership on social media. Barty was crying during a march for racial justice in the nation's fourth-largest city. An officer in a bulletproof vest kneeled beside the young girl, the visor of his right helmet lifted and his black-gloved hand grasping her shoulder, and asked what was wrong. Barty's father, Simon, said his young daughter asked the officer, "Are you going to shoot us?" "We're here to protect you, okay?" the officer responded. "We're not here to hurt you at all, okay? You can protest, you can party, you can do whatever you want, just don't break nothing." At the time of publication, the video of their interaction has been shared more than 820 times and favorited over 2,600 times on Twitter. Most of the 100-plus comments to the video have been positive. "She's seen a little emotion in crowd yesterday and started crying. She also seen the police officers with their gear on and genuinely asked the question," Simon said. "It was not rehearsed, it came from a genuine place." The interaction is just one of numerous recent examples of local police officers showing support and solidarity with other racial justice protesters. The protests have occurred in response to the death of George Floyd, the 46-year-old black man who died in police custody after a Minneapolis police officer knelt on his neck for nearly 9 minutes. Many of the protests in over 75 U.S. cities have gone peacefully, but while police officers have made some shows of solidarity by making peaceful declarations, linking arms with marchers and kneeling alongside protesters, some protesters have claimed that police officers have attacked them after initially making such displays. On May 31st, Aaliyah Abraham, the leader of a Queens-based organization called the Black Youth Resource Network, posted a video of New York police officers kneeling with protesters during a Sunday demonstration march. According to CNN, a pastor invited the officers within a circle of protesters to kneel with them. The crowd cheered as the officers took a knee, and the march organizers began reciting the names of people who had died as a result of police violence. Another good touch from this cop for this little girl that changes a life. Without a clue about what was happening around her, a young baby girl was abandoned at the hospital shortly after her birth. She had no name, no parents who claimed her, and no place to go home to after being discharged from the hospital. For Grace Kriegel Wilson, it was a regular day at a local superstore where she was running errands with her husband and 12-year-old foster daughter. She had fostered several children through the years and had 7 children under her wing. While at the children's department of the store, she received a call from someone she frequently spoke to from the foster care system. Upon answering the call, Grace was immediately told, "A baby girl was abandoned at the hospital. She doesn't even have a name. It probably won't be forever, but we need to place her in a foster home. Can you come pick her up in an hour?" Grace looked at her husband in shock, and they knew then and there their answer would be yes. They grabbed a couple of newborn clothes and a pack of diapers, rushed home to get their car seat, and in less than an hour, they had their gorgeous baby girl in their arms. When Safe Surrender turned 4 months, Grace and the rest of the family were on vacation when they got a call from foster care. It turned out that the little girl wasn't examined at birth and needed to be looked at. So without hesitation, Grace cut their vacation short and made it to Grace's screening appointment. The hospital paged Safe Surrender on the speaker, and Grace could instantly feel the stares of all those who wanted to know who would name their child such. That day, the young baby girl underwent tests on her heart, kidneys, spine, and more. They all revealed a couple of birth defects that required multiple surgeries and living with a colostomy bag for a couple of months. Grace updated the foster care system workers on the baby's situation, and they realized it might be too much for Grace, who already had several children under her care. "We can move her to a level 2 home if we need to," the woman suggested. Grace and her husband refused, and they cared for the sweet little girl without complaints. They accompanied her to all the surgeries, consoled and soothed her pain, and paid for her supplies with their own money. Through it all, Grace and the rest of her family took care of Safe Surrender and fell increasingly in love with her. She was starting to become a happy baby girl and began trusting her family. When the young girl was nearing her first birthday, the foster care staff revealed that they published an ad in the paper to locate the girl's dad but received no response. "It looked like this case will be going toward adoption. Are you willing to adopt Safe?" she was asked. It was a no-brainer for Grace. She wanted to adopt Safe, so she did. Grace proudly took the stand and swore to adopt her little girl. There were 75 people in the room to witness the beautiful adoption, including family and friends who have supported them since the start. As Grace looked at her husband and their sweet little girl, 14 months old at the time, she was asked, "Grace, what has your family decided to name her?" With a huge smile on the little girl's face, Grace proudly turned to the judge and said, "Her name is Aria Hope."